This is how we start all chapters. I'm going to gather all the stuff we're going to talk about, and Anders, he just comes usually late, and everything is ready and fixed for him. It's so easy, and he's also the only one getting paid.
Welcome to Reconstructing the World.
Are you already here?
It wasn't as fun as I anticipated. Anyway, welcome to Reconstructing the World, which I already started saying at some other point. Today, Anders,
yes,
on the channel, we are continuing the talk about trying to take waste material,
yes,
and making it into, because that's what you are famous for, right? Taking some waste material, then actually turning it into a material that you then transform into design or building or anyway. And what are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest, baddest, and environmentally annoying type of material. It's
the
plastic.
white male.
That's also true. All right, but then the second worst.
The second worst.
Plastic.
The white male's favorite drink.
Yeah. The beer keg.
Yeah.
No, plastic. Okay.
Yeah.
So some years ago, we were contacted by Carlsberg, the beer company.
Yeah.
And they didn't say directly that they had a problem, but they did have a problem because they went from the traditional beer kegs. We are so old, so kegs when we were young were steel kegs with beer in it.
Yeah.
Then to make it way more sustainable, they converted recyclable steel kegs to plastic kegs.
Okay.
And normally it's kind of like a beautiful kind of bubble. Puffy, full of beer. So with vacuum, it sucks all the beer out, pumps it out, we drink it, we are happy and stupid.
I don't.
And then some people do. And then it looks like this.
Yeah. Kind of like
with
the day,
beer in it.
kind of like you do look the day after you have been drinking.
This is your brain the day after.
So you got contacted, and then you said, yes, let me try.
And then they said, this is just as sustainable as a steel keg.
Oh.
And I said, yes, but the steel keg is what, 30, 40 years old, and you're creating a new product. There is a waste problem that is just as sustainable. It has to be way more sustainable. But at that point, they already produced these smart kegs that can
Are they called smart kegs?
They call them smart kegs because they could make the beer last way longer than in the old kegs. Yeah. We hated this one because this plastic consists of PP, PET, vinyl, and then also in here there's a steel spring and an aluminum cap, and you can't disassemble any of it.
Oh shit! So you have to find a way to use the whole thing.
So that was So that's why.
Because it's a very short episode today. Because what Anders did was he then created the world's most complicated puzzle. You know, is it called a puzzle?
Yeah, it's a puzzle.
Yeah, so this is 1 million pieces of puzzle,
and then we sold them all over the world.
And then you can if you assemble it right, it gets to look like this. It probably will take you 10 years, and that's actually a quite big market for that.
Yeah. The cool thing here is that when you have waste materials from a manufacturer of something that you kind of put into your body, drink or eat, they know everything about the materials.
Okay.
All the materials that we've been talking about in these many chapters are building materials that are not meant to be recycled and so on. Here you have something where we know all the data on this product, which was an advantage.
Yeah.
So we knew what we had to do with. So we started playing with this, and we immediately thought that it was pretty fantastic material-wise.
Yeah.
High quality. We knew how much there was of it, the infrastructure, the logistics, and so on. And then we started playing with it, and the problem was, of course, that there was so much many different types of materials in it that we then started to play with. And some of the first things was that if we shred everything, except this is the billion puzzle brick piece here, and you take this and accept that you have. You're in a super good mood. I like that.
Yeah, I actually just had a cup of coffee.
It's just when there's beers on the table and
Is this the same?
horn music. It's
Is
the
this
same.
the thing?
Then we started heat pressing this material, and all of a sudden you can see that it looks almost like marble. Right?
It looks fantastic.
It went from being a shitty plastic waste material that smelled of beer to something that actually was quite interesting. It had a new identity. And all the architects in the office were like, what is this type of material? And it went from being something...
a big beer brick.
Yeah, or a tile for a wall, right?
Yeah,
so all of a sudden...
fantastic tile.
Yes, that's the point. So it went from being nothing to being a potential building block.
Beautiful in the kitchen.
Yes, exactly.
Have you done that?
We made these tiles out of it that we did also for Carlsberg with their logo, the logo of what do you call it? The yeast. This is the yeast logo of. What is in beer? Humle. How do you say humle in English?
We will put it on screen. Humle. In English.
In clear Danish,
is it called humble? Humble. No, it's not humble.
You're not humble.
No, it's like,
you're not humble.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah.
You don't even know the word.
Yeah, I do know it, because...
Anyways, there's also, we forgot there's even also rubber pieces in it, which you can see here. But what we found out with this was that we could actually do these products.
Yeah.
And what could that then be used for? And we also did different techniques. This one was a little bit expensive to kind of create these large sheets and cut them out. We also did this one.
This is cold pressed or what?
Yes.
Still heat?
Heat pressed, but it's low heat because it's plastic.
Yeah.
And you can see the surface when we got this one.
Yeah.
It was like, this is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Also you have actually two different, the bright one and the...
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had to find someone to work with, and unfortunately in Denmark, this whole plastic industry had moved to countries where it's way cheaper to build. Mm-hmm. So, but we still found some to work with, and this one actually ended out as one of the first products. And the first finished kind of product is here. That's actually a sheet for a table. Where the finish is kind of like this. It's a little bit raw in this model, but it started to being actually a product. You could melt it or repress heat it, not melt it, and get this kind of patinated surface with these different beautiful colors inside that talked about that there was different materials in it.
And you could put a layer of furnish over it?
Yeah, well, you didn't need to, because that's the part of the plastic that it kind of gives this...
Yeah, but it becomes a little hairy?
Yeah, but this is because it's a prototype.
Oh, okay. But you could actually get a super smooth... Is that the tables down in the...
Yeah, that's the tables out there. You want to go out and see the tables?
No, we can cut to them. I don't want to move. But so
you're
cutting to the table.
You always
here.
want to walk around. No. Okay, but then in this case... I mean, it was kind of, it was an economic way of doing these. They were interesting, but we still have all the materials put together.
Yeah.
So for this to be a circular business model, we want to have these back if you don't want to use them anymore. And then rethread them and do a new product, which is possible.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to separate them and make something like this.
Which is actually nearly PP or nearly PE.
Yeah. Well, you get both of them because you separate it. And we found out, and it's not something that we invented, but that if you can make kind of a bath, where you have kind of like a soap in it, that makes the different types, these materials, I don't know what you call it in English, like the floating capacity.
Yeah.
So when you have this soap in it, it makes some fall to the bottom something floating, and then you can harvest it.
Yeah.
And in this way, you started actually to be able to have quite clean fractions.
Yeah.
So these clean fractions made it possible to create a new type of product that was more, you can say, clean,
This is the one.
It's actually not this one. This is kind of still different types of these, but just in new forms and shapes that we're trying to do for building.
Okay. Like not a facade, but a what? Or a facade?
This is actually, it's for a facade. Yeah. Where we try to put fire retardants in it and so on, so it would actually be possible to use for the facade. It's not in that one.
Thank you.
It's just your fingers that
But so like you've developed this one.
So at the same time we were doing these investigations to figure out how to make a good use for the waste fractions for Carlsberg and this plastic. We also had a project for the Olympic Pavilion, the Danish Olympic Pavilion in Tokyo. And
is that the one there?
It ended up being this proposal, but now you're jumping a little bit too close.
Sorry.
I wanted to build it up.
Okay, sorry. But let's go back and you
cinematographer, get back.
Build it up.
So we had to build in Japan.
Yeah.
And the idea was to do this pavilion showing Danish culture, Danish industries, and sell Danish products. That's how they do it. But we wanted to show how circular economy is part of the future industrial thinking. And what could be better than take a waste fraction from Carlsberg, one of the biggest Danish companies, and show that they were mindful. But even better, that one of the biggest waste problems for all of Asia is plastic. I mean, they have a totally different plastic culture.
The storytelling.
So we wanted to show that it's a resource. It's not a problem. Yeah. And at the same time, what does Japanese people know Danes for?
Danish design.
They know us for very little. They don't even know what a Dane is. They don't. We think they know. They don't know we are Danes. 5 million people.
It's like a small elite of people who's buying our furniture on,
exactly.
Rasmussen.
Yeah. But that small elite was our only link in. So we said, what if we design a chair that embodies the whole idea of Danish design?
Let's design a chair.
Yeah. So they can sit down and listen to us.
And so
so we came up with this idea that what if we could make a chair that was made out of the waste plastic from Carlsberg, waste wood, and that we could make a chair that was a dining chair. Then you could flip it around. Then you would have
an evening chair,
a lounge chair, or a Japanese dining chair, low-hanging chair, and you actually, if you have long legs like you do, Anders, then you sit really well like that.
But this is. I immediately wanted to do this because the other one was comfortable, but this is.
Then you.
We were gonna do the rest of the episode like this.
It's actually a design chair you sit good in.
Hey, I know it's a detour. But now that we're talking about materials that are reused, am I right? This table is actually just a thermo window.
Yes.
And you could slap, like an easy slap, a small, what do you call it?
Like a small.
Small frame.
Wood frame on it. Yeah.
It's totally sellable. This is fantastic. This is like, hey,
direct
I want
reuse.
a fucking table like that.
You can get one. You can get this home with you. It's
but let's say this is a production. Why don't you put it into production? Why if there's a producer of furniture,
start doing
call
that.
Anders. This is actually super cool.
I'll sell the idea for free. Let's set it free. Go for it.
Fuck off. We need to have a small trip to Malaga.
To what?
With a train.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you made the chair.
So we made this chair, but that's not enough because we didn't just want to do a chair. We wanted to do a whole exhibition, and we wanted to do a building. So to do that, we came up with the idea that what if this was not a chair?
Yeah.
It was actually a shelving system, and so when you do like this, you start to see that you have shelves where you can put stuff in. You could also kind of turn this around like that. And
so you can IKEA...
and then you have a different type of shelving set and so on. Yeah. If we have 2,500 of these chairs, then you have a whole building. And that's what you see here. So this is actually in Hibiya Park in Tokyo, where this was meant to be built around a small fountain, or a pretty large fountain actually. And then there would be rooms here for exhibition, and everything was fantastic. So I did the most unsustainable thing I've ever done in my life. It was caused by the incidence of Corona. And that was not my fault.
No.
But
we don't know.
We don't know.
We're undecided on that one. We actually don't know if he's the origin of the bird flu.
The bird flu?
The bird flu? Wasn't Corona a variant?
Oh my God.
Oh shit. I already forgot.
Yeah, the bird has nothing to do with birds.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so where were we? So my most unsustainable thing ever done was to order 2,500 chairs of this. And in the second that they were finished produced, I was called up because of Corona that the Olympics were off. They were on but off. No audience. No one was allowed to go and see the athletes.
No, but they did. They did it.
They did it, but it was like there's no reason to build a pavilion and show everyone how fantastic we are if there's no people. So I had 2,500 chairs and no use for them.
Okay.
And
it kind of sucks.
I
just want to put a feeling.
I was broken. I was crying. And everyone was sick around me. And then I got sick. But then. What happened was that when this thing is a building block, it can take all kinds of shapes, which means that immediately after Corona, these places started calling, could we do a pavilion? Do you have something you could use? And then we were called by one of the world's largest design fairs in Milan if we wanted to do a pavilion in the Leonardo da Vinci Museum. Ooh. Super cool. Ooh. Super cool. A brilliant guy, by the way. Don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I also think he was kind of annoying, but I don't know. But I heard rumors.
Yeah, it was actually nice.
How do you know that? Do you have a time machine going
I've
back
been
to
there. I've been to his home.
Okay,
Sorry. Okay, so anyways, what happened was that this building block started to be able to be kind of plugging to the cloister hallways and its own pavilion. And we started building with this and making these exhibitions with it. And then it started traveling, and it became part of the Folkemøde, which is kind of a political rally here in Denmark on Bornholm. A pavilion for helping kids that lives on the street. We have kids living on the street here in Denmark that really needs help. And then it went to the UN, not all 2,500 of them, UN Assembly as an exhibition there for circularity. Actually traveled or was built on Skoleskibet. I think that was the idea at least. And then it has also been to Roskilde Festival and has been built there. And now it's actually going to its end station, Paris Olympics this year, 2024.
Oh, I thought you were going to say heaven. It's going to heaven.
It's going to recycle
end
heaven.
Station. Okay, but Anders, this material here is not the same as this one.
No.
Right?
No, this is where you have
that's the broken fracture. This is the clean fracture.
This is the clean fracture.
And this is what it looks like using the clean fracture, right?
Yeah. So what happened was that Carlsberg could see that it actually made sense to do these things, and then they said, "Can't you do a company?" And then because Carlsberg didn't want to be part of the company, because what if it went wrong?
You said, "Great, invest," and they said, "No."
They actually were really nice. They gave us a very good loan.
Okay.
And said, okay, let's try and do this. And we used the money to scale it to a company called Replastic.
Yeah.
And Replastic has then created kind of just a batch where you can buy this plastic. And for example, this chair and many other Danish design chairs where the plastic is used in kind of getting better and better production. Really nice chairs.
So this plastic
is the same
production.
plastic. Yeah, this chair.
No. Just like this plastic here
Yeah.
that you experiment with
Yeah.
is actually now
It's just a
viable. You can buy it
it's
as a
company.
fraction.
You can buy as much as you want, and for this one, it's Veglers, which is a really nice design company that are producing these chairs.
Okay.
And so they bought the waste fraction from this, creating a design here. It's C.F. Møller Architects who has done this for Vegler, and using the plastic for that.
And what? Ooh,
Yeah, it's nice, right?
nice chair.
Yeah, and then they do these fractions that you can then produce your own design from. And there's also another furniture company, we do a picture of that, Mader, who's doing a lot of sustainable furnitures as well. They're also buying this material for an anaditzel, like a really fantastic chair, and selling a lot of that. It's a beautiful chair and bench and tables.
So
this is gone from being a crazy idea, a development, testing all kinds of things, making a pavilion, and ends up being just a material that goes into a lot of different designs.
So
it's a true good circular story.
So you take this. Can you hand it to me, because I'm sitting really well here. So you take something which is a waste, and then you upscale it to design, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Ooh, you got strong hands. Oh. Actually, this is it, Anders.
That's it.
You took this and you made it in
To that.
to this kind of material. Mm-hmm. And I guess the longevity of design material,
Yeah.
like a chair or whatever, is super long. So this would have been waste. This is something that will not be thrown out for years. Or when it's getting thrown out, it's way easier to take the... Because I noticed one thing, and let's end with that. I noticed that this is super easy to disassemble.
Yes.
And therefore the fractions can then survive, I guess.
And also the point is that when we've been able to make a circular product out of a complex fraction that nobody wants, and we can make it from there to a product that's worth money to sell.
Yeah.
Then when someone who's done like this wants to throw it out, they contact us that has been producing the material, and it's way easier for us to recycle it again. And I think there is at least 10 times where we can recycle it, where it has the same high quality before we have to add more to it. I can't remember if it's 8 or 10 times of recycling it, the products.
But I think the overall point for ending this program today is that this is something that for all the aspiring architects or the old architects, this is doable. If you find a fraction of something waste, you can actually see if you can turn it into a reusable material. That is not super expensive. It's about creativity, and it's about having finding a source that will keep providing, so you can then upscale it for a material. Is that the point of it today?
It's absolutely the point.
And now we're going to end the program of reconstructing the world, because Anders is now going to give me a real massage.